This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and it's a day game from Busch Stadium. Game number 4 between the Philadelphia Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals. Last night, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, tie game. Matt Holliday delivers with a base hit to left to drive in Aledmys Diaz. And the Cardinals would take that game in 9 innings. And now they look to make it 3 of 4. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Al Roboski will be alongside momentarily. Jim Hayes is here as well. That was last night. And in that game, the starter did not go deep. That was Mike Leake. So it was up to the bullpen. The bullpen stepped up. It's Arcia in the driver's seat. They did not allow any runs after those 5 innings from Mike Leake. 4 innings of work, only 2 hits allowed. And Al Roboski, it was a big win for the St. Louis Cardinals.
It really was. And, of course, the Cardinals are trying to win 3 out of 4 with the game here today. Jaime Garcia will be on the mound. It's a day game. He has a record of 16-8 with an ERA of 2.98 in day games. That bodes well for the Redbirds.
That's a part of our What's on Tap presented by Budweiser. Jaime Garcia for the St. Louis Cardinals. Evansville, Indiana native Jared Eichhoff. He gets the call for the Philadelphia Phillies. Cards and Phils Day Baseball comes your way next. walk-off RBIs. The Cardinals took Game 3. Matt Holliday's 8th career walk-off RBIs. The Cardinals took Game 3. We turn the page. Matt Carpenter is in the starting lineup. He'll bat leadoff and play third base. On the mound for the Cardinals, Jaime Garcia. A look at his pitch arsenal presented by Hyundai. Last time he pitched in a day game in St. Louis, 1 hit, complete game shutout. Jaime and the Cardinals coming up. Louis Cardinals trying to make it 3 of 4 here in the Gateway City. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light. Please drink responsibly. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. It's a cool afternoon, a gorgeous day here in St. Louis. Game 4 between the Philadelphia Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals. And along with Al Raboski and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. 62 degrees. Let's take a look at Pete Maccannon's lineup for the upstart Phillies. One of the big surprises thus far in the National League. It'll be Herrera, then Galvis, the switch-hitting shortstop. Andres Blanco getting the start at third today. Darren Ruff bats cleanup. Cameron Rupp, the catcher. Cesar Hernandez, Tyler Goodell, Peter Borges, the former Cardinal, and Jared Eichhoff is the pitcher at batting ninth. You know, when you think about the Phillies, they get things going with this man at the top of their lineup. That's Herrera. They have won 10 of 13, and that coincides with Herrera moving up to that leadoff spot. They're averaging 4 runs as opposed to 2 prior to this move. And Jaime Garcia gets the call for the St. Louis Cardinals. And last start, he was roughed up in that first inning against the Washington Nationals and trying to pick up another win here today.
Yeah, remember in that game he gave up 4 runs in the first inning, but then he settled in and only allowed 1 hit the rest of the way, 5 1/3 innings. Loves pitching day games here at Busch Stadium. 16-8 during that time. ERA just under 3. But he has suffered. The last time he won a day game here was that brilliant shutout on April 14th where he struck out 13 batters.
Carpenter moving in at third base, and the first pitch is taken high.
Herrera's had a nice series. He's 5 for 11, including a home run and a couple runs. So keep him off base.
Outfield is straight away, and the 1-0 pitch from Jaime Garcia is hit out of play and foul. Herrera this year has had 28 plate appearances against left-handed pitching, and they feel they can keep him as an everyday player. A lot of times lefties struggle against lefties. Not so with Herrera. He's had 9 walks in those 28 appearances, and he's averaging 6 pitches per at bat. So he sees a lot of pitches, and you want that from your leadoff man.
Yeah, and overall he's walked 24 times, so that's where his high on base percentage, the reason he's at the top of the order. But as we saw, he's got 3 home runs, one of them in this series, so he's got a little pop too.
And the 2-1 pitch fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A lot of ways Jaime's had to elevate some of his pitches because Herrera is really that low ball hitter, likes to pound the ball into the dirt and uses good speed. So you get the ball up in the zone and you probably get him to pop up.
He has homered in this series. And as Al said, a very good series against the Cardinals. The 2-2 pitch taken in the dirt. Mark Carlson is the crew chief. He's calling balls and strikes today. Mike DeMuro is down at first. Ryan Blakeney at second, and Quinn Wolcott is the third base umpire.
You see now it's a full count, and that's something that Jaime has allowed a lot more walks this year than he has been in the past.
The 3-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Jaime Garcia to start his afternoon. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The defense has settled down a little bit here for the Cardinals, in particular on the infield. At one point they led all of baseball in errors. Moss is in left, Hazelbaker in center, Piscotty is in right. Carpenter, Tejada, Wong and Adams along the infield, and Molina is behind the plate. So Jeremy Hazelbaker gets a start in center field, primarily the last couple of weeks coming off the bench. Here's Freddie Galvis, and there's strike 1. It's one of those oddities with Jaime Garcia. Opponents only hitting 143 against him with the bases empty. Close to 330 with runners on.
Yeah, if you had a choice, you'd do it the other way around.
But remember, in spring training, he had issues with holding runners on and then mechanically got out of whack, and you wonder if that's carried over a little bit here to the regular season. 1-2.
Possibly, and it also kind of means that you can't stop the bleeding once it starts. And since he's thrown that shutout on August 14th, he's allowed 10 runs over 16 1/3 innings. So beware of that big inning. Keep them off base.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Spoiled by Freddie Galvis. Shortstop hitting .228.
He's made some nice plays in this series.
Sure
he
has.
hasn't hit much, but he played very well defensively.
It's another 1-2. One thing you know about Jaime Garcia, for folks that are seeing him and pitch today, especially from that shot from behind him, you just see the great movement that he possesses on all of his pitches. Like that. That late movement too, which is a key.
You know, the pitch before, I wasn't sure if Yachty had pulled it or it just was the movement. There you see the breaking ball and downward movement also across from the outside to the middle.
2 balls and 2 strikes. He'll go with the changeup here.
To me, that is, if we could see that pitch again from center field, just watch the late movement and how his changeup, almost like he turns it over like a screwball. But watch the late movement away. That ball's in the strike zone until the time you start your swing, and then it just goes out of frame.
The 2-2 again. Little bit low.
Already 2 full counts. First 2 batters.
Works from the third base side of the rubber. Molina sets up outside. Little delay there by Garcia. And a ground ball that's hit to short. Ruben Tejada, the former Met, and a low throw, and Adams couldn't pick it. That'll be an error on Tejada, I believe, which will be his 3rd this year.
Just a simple play. Plenty of time, takes a little crow hop, and then he short hops there. I'm sure Matt Adams will tell you he'll make that catch more times than not, but still it does short hop him, and that's not what you're expecting. Expecting a nice easy chest throw.
It's 25 errors against the Cardinals, with 20 of those coming on the infield.
It's alarming, and you pride yourself and have a pitching staff that gets a lot of ground balls.
Here's Andres Blanco. It's the errors that concern you, but a byproduct of that is the fact that you are giving away outs, and also you put more pressure on the pitcher, and it may cut short what could be a lengthy day today, depending on how the inning turns out, because of the extra throws.
No doubt.
Here's the 0-1. Now 0-2.
You know, you're already, had full counts on the first 2 batters. But the Galvis at bat was 9 pitches, so you can see how the pitch count getting up there doesn't sound like much now, but like you said, it may take you cut a full inning off your performance in the day.
0-2 the count. A short lead by Galvis. He has 1 stolen base this year. And strikeout number 2 for Jaime Garcia.
I mean, you see how he wraps that ball, the movement on the pitch, start up around the letters and breaks down below the knees.
Darren Ruff gets the start at first base today, and the Cardinals are thankful that a lefty is on the mound, because that means that Ryan Howard sits. And Howard has just destroyed the Cardinals in this series.
Yeah, but it could be a potential very exciting bat off the bench today for Howard.
Ryan Howard has 17 hits, 7 home runs. And just to reiterate, this could be his final series ever at home. The St. Louis native, and he loves Busch Stadium. 37 games and a .331 average. 1 ball, 1 strike on Darren Ruff. Check on the runner at first, and that's been the issue with Garcia, throwing over to first base at times and then his motion to the plate. Most home runs by an opponent here at Busch Stadium 3, and this opened up in 2006. And you would think it would be a player from the Central Division. It's not. It's Ryan Howard, who comes through town 1 time a year. 13.
Yeah, but you saw everybody else on that list was from the Central.
Garcia spins, throws, and that time Adams comes away with the pick. And what a play by Matt Adams at first base. Could not pick the throw by Tejada, and this time he makes a dazzling play on that throw by Jaime Garcia. Slow to get up, both Ruff and Matt Adams. A couple of big guys right there. Nice play by Big City. There's no score. The Phillies and the Cardinals in Game 4 of their series. Camera spins to the direction of Matt Carpenter. He'll bat leadoff for St. Louis, followed by Steven Piscotty and Brandon Moss. Then Matt Adams bats cleanup. Yadier Molina off to a good start. Jeremy Hazelbaker, Colton Wong, Ruben Tejada, and the pitcher batting ninth, Jaime Garcia. Jared Eichhoff, this is his 6th start of the year. His last time out didn't factor in the decision Saturday against the Indians. 3 runs in 6 innings in a 4-3 Phillies win. He was part of the Cole Hamels deals. He came over from Texas.
It's from Evansville, Indiana, and they have a big banquet there every year. I've gone to it several times and have met Jared there. Farmhand, like you said, with the Rangers, one of 5 prospects that came over from Cole Hamels, and they really like this guy. They love his makeup. He's got it. What they even say is a better breaking ball, better curveball than Nola. His is more 12-6.
Hit sharply inside the first base line and off the sidewall. Carpenter on his way to second base with double number 6 this year. Peter Borges may have been claiming that a fan touched that baseball. Regardless, it's a double for Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, big deal. It's a double. Watch where this ball is. Down and away. We've seen in this series that pitchers predominantly pitch away to the right-handers and to the left-handers. But they do say that Eichhoff is probably the best of them of going in, get you off his breaking balls away.
Here's Steven Piscotty, 3 hits in Game 3 last night. Even further, his last 14 games, he has 10 RBIs and 7 extra base hits.
6 for 14 in this series with 3 RBIs.
The oddity of baseball in Game 1, spots 6, 7, 8, and 9 all homered. That had never been done in Cardinals history. And then last night, 1, 2, and 3 had all 5 RBIs. And Carpenter is stuck, and now he's out. And it turns into a double play.
Scotty must not have been running out of the batter's box. Saw him as he touched first base. You know, he put his hands to his helmet saying he knows he made a mistake there. Good play by Eichhoff. You see that Carpenter was broke and then he couldn't get back. Then they complete the double play, and look where you see he grabs his helmet. See, he's not running. He has his head down, not realizing. Now he picks it up. He'll learn.
Here's Brandon Moss as he pulls it foul. Moss has 17 hits this year. He's been one of the top pinch hitters for the Cardinals. And 9 of those 17 hits have gone for extra bases. The 0-1 pitch. As Al told you, Eichhoff is from Evansville, Indiana. Grew up a Cardinals fan. Was drafted in the 15th round of 2011. And the Cardinals face the Texas Rangers in the Fall Classic of that season.
Where do you think his allegiance was at that time? His new employer or his...
1-0 Cardinals on a bomb off the bat of Brandon Moss. Holy smokes! That is one of the longest home runs we've ever seen here at Busch Stadium from that side of the plate. A long home run from Moss, number 7.
No doubter there. He got all of that one.
Even in batting practice, you don't see many hit off that mercy sign or above it. Wow.
And act like he's been there before. Drop the bat, starts his home run trot. You know, the other day I was watching him hit batting practice and he was hitting them above that mercy sign. It went off the facing of the mercy sign out there in the second deck. And somebody, I can't remember who it was kicking him. Like, hey, you finally made it. He goes, look, I do that all the time. It's Carpenter that's trying to always do it.
Man, you don't see him go very far like that.
Nope.
So a 2-out solo home run, and it's 1-0 thanks to Brandon Moss. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Adams. .108 miles an hour off the bat of Brandon Moss. Last night it was a near home run for Matt Adams, and that one was measured at 110 miles an hour off the top of the wall.
He just didn't get it up any elevation underneath it, but Moss definitely did. Watch where this ball goes above that mercy sign, almost reaching that second deck. That's at about 50-60 feet high.
Little squibber hit to the left side and a base hit for Adams. You talk about placing a baseball perfectly. There it was against the shift. You know, whether he meant to or not.
Yeah, we've seen Matt go that way quite a bit on this homestand, but that one he wasn't trying to, but it was effectively placed right off the end of the bat and had a lot of English and just started skirting to where the vacated third base area.
Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense for the Phillies. Goodell is in left, Herrera in center, Borges in right. Blanco, Galvis, Hernandez, and Ruff along the infield. Cameron Rupp is behind the plate. That's around the horn, presented by Dobbs. So 2 outs, runner at first, and it brings in Molina. Yachty off to a very good start. Overall hitting .323. And he's 15th in all of baseball in on-base percentage at .404. Big gap in left center field. First pitch to the Cardinals catcher, and a ground ball that's hit to third, backing up Blanco, and he gets the lead man. The Cardinals get a 2-out solo home run, a no-doubter off the bat of Brandon Moss, and it's 1-0. Feet off the bat of Brandon Moss, and the Cardinals have a 1-run lead. Fourth longest in this stadium, longest by a left-hander. The previous high was Jay Bruce of the Reds, 456 feet.
That definitely would have broken the Big Mac sign, the one that's in left field. That would have been off about the C, wouldn't it?
You can get it down to the lettering, you're a better man than I.
Okay, maybe the M after the C.
First pitch by Garcia is a strike to Cameron Rupp. Day game after a night game, so Carlos Ruiz will sit. By the way, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of his major league debut is Ruiz, who's been a very good player over the years for the Phillies. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Little chopper to Carpenter. And Adams is thankful that one's at his chest. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Good sign for Jaime. He struck out 2 and gotten 3 ground balls.
Brings in Cesar Hernandez here at the top of the second. Hernandez is hitting .270, and there's strike 1.
He is one of 3 switch hitters that are in the lineup.
Back to Garcia. Flips it to Adams for out number 2. When right, Garcia, it's not only the strikeouts and the movement that we talked about, but ground balls. He gets a ton of ground balls when right.
Exactly right, and that's why I was making the point that everybody that's put the ball in play has hit the ball on the ground.
Tyler Goodell, Rule 5 pickup from Tampa Bay for the Phillies, made a tremendous catch in the 8th inning last night on a ball that was off the bat of Jed Jerko. And the Cardinals eventually, though, came back in the 9th inning.
Tyler is the younger brother of Major League pitcher Eric Goodell, and his father David Goodell was a biotech industry pioneer who developed synthesized insulin
Carpenter can't get rid of it. Eventually he does. 3 ground ball outs for Jaime Garcia. Coming up, Hazelbaker, Wong, and Tejada midway through 2 here at Busch Stadium. And the Cardinals lead it 1-0. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Cardinals. Let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan, Matt Adams had that pinch hit double in the bottom of the 9th last night. Didn't go as far as Brandon Moss's shot, but he told me he was sure it was gone. Adams said he raised his arm in celebration rounding first, then saw the ball bounce back and the reaction of the defenders. He told me a little panic kicked in. He told himself, put your arm down and run, because he thought he was going to be thrown out. Adams now 5 for 10 as a pinch hitter, 8 for 18 with 2 home runs on this homestand. Mike Matheny telling me this is what Adams is capable of doing. He said it's a crowded situation at first base, and Adams has done a great job of staying positive and just trying to get better.
There it is right there, Jim. He thought he had won it. Uh-oh, I better run.
Put the arm down, Danny.
Uh-oh, there it is.
Colton Wong had done the same thing. He was running around second base and was circling his hand as if he was motioning to the umpire. That's a home run, but clearly it was not. There's Jeremy Hazelbaker. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the curveball hit to Hernandez for the out. Just to further the point that Jim was talking about, remember we started in spring training with the first base position. Who produces is who plays. First base last year combined saw a .392 slugging percentage. That was lowest in the National League. Right now the slugging percentage is at .529, which is 5th in baseball. And it's seen Holiday, it saw Carpenter last night, Moss and Adams, even Yadier Molina. Here's Colton Wong. Real key at bat in the comeback last night was Colton Wong with the walk. And we've seen, since he told me that he's changed the way that he holds the bat 3 nights ago, he's taken better at bats, a little deeper in counts, following some pitches that he normally wouldn't off. And again, if you haven't been with us the last couple of days, what he's doing, instead of having the bat straight up and down, he is resting it on his shoulder. And when it's up and down and away from his body, he has to go up, then back for a trigger mechanism. And in this case, it just goes back, and then he tries to get it through the zone. That's another thing the Phillies have been doing a lot of in this series, with 2 strikes, elevating on Colton Wong.
Yeah, and it's something he has to try to avoid. It's either going to be a pop-up or a swing and miss when it's up there.
Little chopper that's pulled past Bill Miller. What does Mr. Eichhoff feature? Fastball, curve, as Al told you, it's a pretty good one. Slider and change, the Hyundai pitch arsenal.
And they really like his curveball, and Larry Anderson was telling me that he thinks his slider is a real plus pitch.
1-2 is hit sharply to first. Darren Ruff steps on the bag. 2 down. Let's turn to our Toyota keys to the game.
Well, Jared, he's the best at throwing fastballs inside. As a staff, they do a lot of pitches away, but he has the ability to throw on both sides of the plate. And also, you have to be aware of the very good secondary pitches. They think his curveball is the best on the staff, or better than Nola's. And then, as Larry Anderson was saying, he should use more and more of those sliders because it's a good pitch also. And occasionally, he'll throw a changeup.
So 2 outs, nobody on, and here is Ruben Tejada. Tejada made the start last night at third base. Carpenter was on the bench. And the Cardinals in game number 29 of their season today, 29 different lineups.
Tejada was the only Cardinal that has faced Eichhoff. 0 for 3 prior to today. That had to be last year when he was with the Mets.
The 0-2 pitch. Hit out of play. Remember, the Cardinals had to wait for the 26-year-old to clear waivers so that they weren't on the hook for $3 million once Johnny Peralta was hurt. They get him for $1.5 million. And at that time, Aledmys Diaz had only 58 of plate appearances above AA, so they needed to get security at that spot. Well, we know what's happened since then. Diaz has been one of the top hitters in all of baseball.
And as happy as we are about Diaz, we're going to be even happier when Johnny Peralta returns.
1-2 on a hop to third, backhanded by Blanco, and a long throw. 3 ground ball outs here in the bottom of the second. Sends us to the third. A Brandon Moss home run, the difference thus far. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals, and by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Quality, reliability, and value. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. That statue of Stan the Man taken from Busch Stadium 2 and brought to the main entrance here at Busch Stadium 3. Peter Borges batting 8th. He'll lead it off. Then Jared Eichhoff and Herrera. Peter's hitting 169. No home runs. He struck out 24 times. Made a game-saving catch 2 nights ago on a ball hit off the bat of Randall Grichuk that would have tied the game. And eventually the Phillies won it 1-0. They've had 6 shutouts already, the Phillies, most in baseball. Chopped to third. Carpenter was playing in. 1 away. Back on April 14th, that was the day that Jaime Garcia had the 13 strikeouts and a 1-hitter. He was barely over 100 pitches. He was so efficient that afternoon.
Exactly. And it seemed like he's paid a price. You know, with 3 starts after that, losing 2 of those and never really going deep into a ball game. But he looks like he's back on track today.
Eichhoff fouls it back.
Eichhoff helped his own cause with a base hit, an RBI in his last start.
He's a big kid, 6'4", 250 pounds, 25 years old. Originally drafted by the Cubs. That was in the 46th round.
Well, you know why he didn't
2009, and then he went to Olney Junior College in Illinois, then drafted by Texas in 2011. The 15th round as he turned down a scholarship to Western Kentucky. He strikes out. So first time through the lineup for Jaime Garcia, 3 strikeouts. It's back, Cardinals fans. The refreshing taste of the frozen strawberry lemonade. It's available all summer long, and it's only at McDonald's.
Taking a little time, letting his pitcher kind of get settled a bit.
What's really interesting, I was looking at the hits direction with Herrera. It's only about 1/4 of the time will he pull the baseball. And yet this is one of the cases, because of his speed, you struggle to shift against him, because, you know, if you look at it, you got to play in if you're the third baseman, and you're in a step or two at short too.
And like a good hitter, he sprays the ball around. But if you make a mistake on the inner part, that's the one he really turns on.
0-1 pitch. Ouch. 0-2.
Jaime has really done a good job of getting in. There you can see why you don't have a pronounced shift. 2 strikes. Carpenter may play back a little bit. So everyone in the infield's kind of, and they play him a little bit to hit to the opposite field. Big gap between Piscotty, the right fielder, and the right field line.
No balls, 2 strikes, with 2 outs and nobody on. And the 0-2.
Serious now. He got rid of his glasses.
It's another 0-2 pitch in on the hands.
Well, I tell you what, those are a couple of those pitches. If he doesn't swing at them, they hit him in the throat.
Big gap in right center, and the 0-2. Get out of play. Should be a fantastic sports day here in town. The Cardinals playing this afternoon. Many of the Cardinal players then will head up the street and the Scott Trade Center as the Blues try to make it a commanding 3-1 lead over the Dallas Stars. Playoff hockey tonight. We'll have the postgame for you on Fox Sports Midwest as Herrera Goes back to the glasses.
Sun kind of peeking in and out, dictating whether he wears the glasses or not.
Cardinals start 7 games back in the Central of the Chicago Cubs. They are 14-14. Cubs start a 4-game series tonight against Washington. Going to be Kyle Hendricks against Joe Ross. Ross was terrific here against the Cardinals.
Yes, he was.
And Pittsburgh will be here tomorrow night, first of 3 in all 3 games on Fox Sports Midwest. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Herrera. Struck out on a 3-2 pitch back in the first. And he strikes out on a 1-2 pitch here in the third. That's 4 today for Jaime Garcia. Midway through 3, Cardinals on top. Coverage of Major League Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Marlins are hot. They've won 9 of their last 10. Only the Braves are below 500, by the way, in the National League East. The Blue Jays consecutive walk-off wins against the Rangers, and tonight in Chicago, the 2 best teams right now record-wise in baseball will be on display. Nationals at Cubs. Cubs are 20-6, and the White Sox 19-9. Garcia breaks his bat and pulls it foul.
Last night was the 12th time the Phillies already this year have played a 1-run game. And they're not scoring very much at all. They're 9-3 in those games because of their good pitching.
They say that Bob McClure has worked wonders with this young staff.
And a lot of people say Pete Cannon is kind of like the Joe Madden. Comparisons to him, you know, with what he did with Tampa Bay.
Former Phillies GM Ruben Amaro hired McClure in 2013 after they interviewed 12 different candidates, and he wasn't even the favorite, but gets the job. Misses low to Garcia, 1 ball and 2 strikes. They looked at Roger McDowell, Jim Benedict, who is now a special assistant with the Pirates. Garcia hits it on the ground to second base, and Hernandez is there.
He's a left-handed reliever. Only makes sense.
Get up, baby, get up for your replica Mike Shannon 1966 jersey. That's this Saturday. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a one-of-a-kind Shannon jersey courtesy of Goodwill. Visit cardinals.com/promotions for your tickets. Mike Shannon, the last Cardinal home run. Busch Stadium 2, or 1 rather, and the first home run at Busch Stadium 2. There's Red right behind John Rooney. Red Schoendienst, the Hall of Famer who's here every day, and now Carpenter is 2 for 2. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
Hitting machine continues right here. Fastball up and away. Just hooks it. Hits it on the line, out to right field.
And here's Stephen Piscotty hit into a double play. And it turned into a double play because of a lack of hustle down the line. Took for granted that there was only going to be a Carpenter rundown, and it turned out to be a quick out as he went back to the bag at second base. And I'm sure Piscotty's thinking in his mind, potentially, is Carpenter going to get in a rundown enough to where if I circle first base I can get to second? Would have been tough to do, but he wasn't hustling initially.
All I know is I doubt we ever see him do that again. Yeah, he's not the type of a person, you know, he knows he made a mistake, and I think he'll never do it again.
1 out runner at first. Bob McClure has a theory for his young pitching staff. He said, we talk about being the lion or the antelope. And he said, we're going to be the lion. That's his theory to his young pitchers because we don't want to back down. That's the way they pitched in this series.
They pitched, you know, absolutely. That's what's kept them in all these ball games, these young pitchers.
Hit to short, off the glove of Galvis, and they'll get the lead man and safe at first. Freddie Galvis stuck with it.
And you could tell this time Piscotty was not taking anything for granted, hustling all the way down there. He sees it, knows he has to make sure he beats it out. Ball was hit hard. If Galvis connects with it and doesn't bobble it, you know, they would add a double play.
Brandon Moss is in left field for Matt Holliday today. He hit a solo home run with 2 outs back in the first. That was his 7th long ball of the year. Wound up being the longest home run hit by a left-handed batter in the history of this ballpark. Day game after a night game, so Holliday, who won the game last night, sits. His next appearance, by the way, for Matt Holliday will be game number 900 as a St. Louis Cardinal. Ironically enough, he debuted against these Phillies.
Had a big game, too.
4 for 5 that day. 0-2 the count.
And you talk about it was his 8th walk-off RBI for Matt Holliday.
97 game-winning RBIs since he came over to St. Louis, and that's 3rd most in the big leagues.
Yeah, only Albert Pujols at 108 and Adrian Gonzalez at 99. Then it's Holliday.
0-2 is a pop-up left side near the line, battling the sun and making the catch. Freddie Galvis. We head to the 4th. 1-0 Cardinals. with Brandon Moss home run. They lead it 1-0 here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And a look at our BJC Healthcare difference maker. Since we were talking about Matt Holliday, there it is. Pujols, Adrian Gonzalez, then Matt Holliday with 97 game-winning RBIs since July 24th of 2009 when he was acquired by the Cardinals in a trade that has worked out wonderfully well on both sides. Holliday got paid. Holliday has produced.
He definitely has produced. And he lost a little weight taking it off. He's always in great shape, but I think he's in best shape now.
First pitch is a fly ball out to left. Moss makes the catch on the run. Galvis is the first out here in the top of inning number 4.
Well, remember, Moss was an outfielder before he started playing first base, so actually more games in the outfield than at first, and he got a good jump on this one, came in and makes a nice catch. First out in the outfield.
13 ground ball outs in this game combined.
Jaime had 6 ground balls and 4 strikeouts to retire his first 9. Remember, there was a booted ground ball.
Here's Blanco, and he takes a pitch high. Brandon Moss nearly gave up baseball back in 2011. His wife said, okay, you can do that, but on 2 conditions. You have to give baseball 1 more shot, and 2, don't do it solely for family reasons. Do it because you're done, you don't have the fight anymore, and you're ready to give it up and be home full time. He said he was ready to become a firefighter. He tried to catch on in Asia to play baseball. Teams didn't even want him. And he had a contract with the A's. He was in the minor leagues. He had 9 days before he could opt out. He was called up. And Bob Melvin was his manager and said, try first base. This will be a good thing for you. Backhanded at short by Tejada. And he told him, relax. You're not going to go anywhere. He had made 1 start in the minor leagues. So as Al said, primarily an outfielder. And obviously the numbers started to come for Brandon Moss in the power category. He had 55 home runs in 2 years with Oakland in 2013 and 14.
And he had that hip surgery. Went to Cleveland. Ended up with 19 home runs last year, but just 4 with the Cardinals. And what he felt like he'd be another few months after that surgery, he'd be that much stronger in his lower half.
Strike 2, Darren Ruff.
There you get an idea of, once again, Yachty, not even the best defender in all of baseball, not catching a strike because of the late movement.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. It was 2 starts ago against Arizona, and I can't remember a time where Molina had a tougher night behind the plate.
Charged with 2 pass balls. And I mean, it was, like you said, getting beat up with all the late movement.
Here's a 1-2 and a ground ball. Tejada to his right, settles, throws, makes the play. 2 ground ball outs and another 1-2-3 inning for Jaime Garcia. We're in St. Louis. Cardinals on top. St. Louis as we check in with Jim Hayes.
Danny, there was Golden Tee, then ping pong, now chess seems to have taken over as the #1 pastime in the Cardinal clubhouse. It started with one chess table in the clubhouse. Today there were 3 chess boards going. Mike Matheny is a big fan. He started playing chess years ago as a way to stay mentally active and sharp as he dealt with concussion issues. Mike says he likes anything that keeps players connected instead of sitting there in their own world on their iPad. Dan Tyler Lyons plays quite a bit. Supposedly, Aledmus Diaz is a very good player, maybe the best.
Ground ball into the shift off the bat of Adams for the first out. The Chess Hall of Fame is based in the Central West End here in St. Louis. It's a passion of Rex Sinkfield, who's become very close with Mike Matheny and some of the former players here in town. And Rex has actually brought in the masters of the game from all over the world. And they're now living here in St. Louis, and this has become the hub for the game.
Exactly right. Rex Sinkfield brought in that first chessboard, and Mike Matheny is a spokesperson for the Chess Hall of Fame.
Here's Yadier Molina.
And also on the weekends they invite all the kids to come down there and they teach them how to play chess, and great opportunity to find that. Jimmy was right. That's what was recommended to Mike when he was dealing with the concussion syndrome, is to start playing chess, to use the mind, try to exercise it as much as possible.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Molina. That's driven out to left field. Goodell is over, off his glove, into the wall. And Molina on his way to second base with his 8th double of the year. He's second on the club in doubles.
And extends his record for the most doubles in this stadium, 127. Goodell, who made a spectacular catch in the corner last night, racing into the corner, reaching for it, but comes up empty. And then his momentum will carry him beyond, just beyond his reach. And by the time he tracked that ball down, Yachty's in there with his another double.
Now Jeremy Hazelbaker. Grounded out to second, first time up. Runner in scoring position for the Cardinals. They lead 1-0. Anytime I hear the name Goodell, I think Eddie Goodell and the famous jersey that hangs over at the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum.
It was the midget pinch hit for the Browns and didn't have a uniform that was big enough for him, so Bill DeWitt Jr. was the bat boy for that team. His dad owned the Browns. He gave him his uniform. What, they put 1/4 on it? One half, 1/4, something. But it hung in Cooperstown until we opened up the Cardinal Hall of Fame across the street. And if you don't have, if you ever want to spend you got to say hours there because it's so extensive. You'll love it.
The 1/8 that was put on the back of that jersey, and pretty famous story, and you can see some of that over at the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum.
Two Indiana boys doing battle here. Hazelbaker and Eichhoff.
Eddie Goodell, and they're now referred to as little people.
Little people.
A 2-0 pitch to Jeremy Hazelbaker with 1 out and a runner at second. Second plate appearance for the Cardinals with a man in scoring position. Taken just a bit high. First walk issued by Eichhoff. Blues are in the playoffs. Fox Sports Midwest wants them to win it all for the fans. For every Blues playoff victory, a fan will win an autographed street pole banner. We've already given away banners autographed by David Backus, Kevin Shattenkirk, and there's still time to enter. Head to Fox Sports Midwest Facebook page for more information.
Doubleheader for a lot of people in town today, right?
You bet. Here's Colton Wong. Grounded out sharply to first. And he's 0 for 1. Runners at first and second for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 4th. Breaking ball and a strike. July 29th of last year, Rangers sent pitcher Matt Harrison 5 prospects to the Phillies for Cole Hamels and reliever Jake Diekman. And one of those prospects is on the mound here today. And since that time, his numbers match up pretty well to that of Cole Hamels.
Actually, a little bit better coming into today's action. Eichhoff's numbers better than Cole Hamels.
This being his 14th start since that deal. The 0-2. Wong takes it low. So here's a comparison. Cole Hamels has made 17 starts. 14 home runs allowed with Texas. Eichhoff, lower ERA. Opponents hitting only .226 against him. Jeff Francoeur, who was with the Phillies at the time, said if you would have traded straight up, it might be a good deal. After watching Eichhoff, he thought he was that good.
It's kind of the same way with Nola. Ken Giles was traded for him. We also had the lefty we saw earlier in that game, Wilbur Holster. They say if it would have been straight up Giles for Nola, the Phillies fans would have been happy.
The 2-2 put out a play by Wong.
A lot of people think the Phillies are a little further advanced because of their young pitching. And apparently they have some prospects at the higher levels in their farm system. But really, realistically, it would have to be around 2017 before they can really get back into contention.
Now time is called. Eichhoff was on the mound at the time for the Rangers AAA affiliate in Round Rock, and he was dealing the night of the trade. They pulled him aside in the 5th and said, your night is done. He didn't know what he did. Well, he had just been traded. The 2-2 is yanked foul.
Well, one of his teammates said, I'm going to really miss you, and found out that that teammate was in the deal also.
Here's a 2-2. Wong hits it up the middle, could be 2. Steps on the bag and out. Was able to scrape the leg along the bag and gets the double play, the second the Cardinals have hit into in this game. 1-0 Cardinals here in the top of inning number 5. It's the Cardinals Authentic Store right by the old infield of Busch Stadium 2 when you first walk into Ballpark Village. Incredible memorabilia over there.
They showed you Rosie over there, who was kind enough to bake a beautiful cake, farewell cake to Pat Paris. And we all wish him luck in his new endeavors. Going home to Tucson.
1-0 Cardinals. It's Rupp, Hernandez, and Goodell. Rupp grounded out to third, his first time up. Good changeup. Hazelbaker out of the game as Randall Grichuk takes over in center. Excuse me, Hazelbaker in the game as he shifts, and then Moss moving to first base. I just wonder if Adams, something with a couple of those plays that were picks in the dirt, in particular the second one off the bat of Ruff back in the first inning, did not look comfortable when he made that play, and there was a little bit, I think, of a collision between he and Ruff.
Yeah, he had to put his leg, leave his leg kind of exposed at the bag, and Rupp tripped over it.
And the first hit of the afternoon for the Phillies, a bouncer up the middle off the bat of Cameron Rupp.
Another ground ball, but this one finds a hole and goes on through. 5th inning for a starting pitcher. You really take the mound, and you really got to bow down. See how Tejada's played in the hole, so he has no chance to get there. Wong was closer to the ball, the second baseman on the left side of the second base bag. Now get your ground ball double play.
So here is Hernandez. 7 ground ball outs for Jaime Garcia to go along with 4 strikeouts. The only ball that was hit out of the infield was a line out by Freddie Galvis back in the 4th. Here's a 1-0. Hernandez bounced back to Garcia, his first time up. Fly ball, shallow right. Piscotty, one away. The first of 6 Academy Sports and Outdoors autograph nights. Friday, May 6th. Trevor Rosenthal, Matt Bowman. They'll sign autographs for fans 15 and under in the Ford Plaza. Then you'll see Danny Cox, Tom Lawless, signed for fans of all ages. For details, visit cardinals.com/promotions. What a job by Matt Bowman, selected by the Cardinals from the Mets this past winter's Rule 5 draft. 2.25 ERA in 12 innings. And this is another Rule 5 pick, Tyler Goodell.
He was the first overall pick.
He came from Tampa Bay.
And he just had never played above Double-A, and hasn't been getting very much playing time, but Buchanan said, I'll let him play these 2 games in a row.
Cameron Rupp had some pretty good advice for Goodell. Their first series was against the Reds. They were swept in that series. And he got to the ballpark. He was the first guy there, so excited. He's in the big leagues. Cameron Rupp said, don't look at the upper deck, because you'll realize how big a major league stadium really is.
You know, that's really what you tell people. You say, hey, the only difference between this and the parks you've been playing is an upper deck.
0-2 pitch inside.
But Dan, now the facilities at the minor league level are so nice that they are many little major league parks, and playing surface, the accommodations, so much better than what decades in the past had to deal with.
Lined into right center field. Over to get it, Grichuk. His throw is cut off, and the Phillies have runners at first and third and only one out. There have been some pretty good Rule 5 picks over the years. Roberto Clemente, Johan Santana, Dan Uggla, Joaquin Soria, just to name a few. Chevy Foxtrax.
Right in the middle of the plate. Now they wanted it further away. Comes over the middle. And the 5th hit in 30 plate appearances now for Goodell.
Here's Peter Borges, who grounded out to third. 0 for 1 today. Borges lines it into a double play. The tag by Moss. It's a double play. Moss with the catch and the tag. Garcia needed that, keeps the Phillies off the board. Moss off the bag. Out number 1, out number 2. Cardinals baseball with the new 3-game Mama Packs, available now through Sunday. Choose from 3 great packs featuring matchups with the Cubs, Royals, and more, starting at just $84. For more details or to purchase, visit cardinals.com/mama.
I got word that Adams left the game with a left knee contusion, removed as a precaution. So hopefully he's all right.
It's Tejada, then Garcia and Carpenter. Grounded out to third, his first time up. Been talking a lot about Bob McClure, who spent some time in St. Louis.
91, 92. He also was a Little League teammate of Keith Hernandez in the Bay Area.
He's a longtime pitching coach with the Kansas City Royals. Doing a very good job currently with this staff of the Phillies.
And both the Cardinals and Phillies have left-handed pitching coaches. When I got into baseball, they always said you never would hire a left-handed pitching coach. They're too crazy. Nobody could relate to him other than a lefty.
There's a great story about Bob McClure when he was the pitching coach in Kansas City and working with Zach Greinke, who then was 22. And Bob had just been hired, and they go out to do a bullpen session. He sees Greinke throw 10 pitches. Here's a 2-2. And he stopped him. And he said, you need to start throwing a changeup. Greinke looked at him and said, 1, I'll never throw a changeup. 2, I'll never throw a two-seamer. 3, I don't listen to pitching coaches. That's off the glove of Eichhoff, who will flip to first. And he said, well, on number 3, I don't mind if you don't listen to me, but if you want to be 5-15 again, go for it. He said, if you have 2 pitches as a starter, you're going to be cornered. And this is something you better learn. Well, he learned on the way to the Cy Young Award.
Well, and to a big payday. How about walked away from what I think it was like $73 million or $70+ million in his contract with the Dodgers, opt out. Well, I think it paid off with him with $206 million for 6 years from Arizona.
Here's Jaime Garcia. And Garcia lines it to second baseman Cesar Hernandez. 2 outs, and it brings in Carpenter, who's 2 for 2 today. And if you go back to the beginning of the 2014 campaign, Matt Carpenter, 104 multi-hit games. That's 10th most in the major leagues, tied for 10th with Buster Posey and Jose Abreu. And average has moved up to 245.
Since 2013, Carpenter has 459 hits and 288 runs, both tops in Major League Baseball since that time. The numbers don't lie, but he produces in this leadoff spot, don't they?
Loves hitting from this spot in the order. As Carpenter lifts a high fly ball into deep right field, backing up Borges, just enough room. We have played 5 here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals lead at 1-0. Cinco de Mayo. Playing baseball day game here in St. Louis. Beautiful weather. Game 4 of this 4-game set between the Cardinals and the Phillies. Eichhoff, Herrera, and Galvis.
Cardinals have won just 6 of their last 23 games played on Cinco de Mayo, but have won each of the last 3. Let's make it 4. Jaime's 1-1 on Cinco de Mayo Day.
Jaime, born and raised in Mexico. He's been around for a long time now with the Cardinals.
Yep. Sombreros. They were aprender mi español en las calles de México.
And a ground ball that backs up Carpenter. Gets rid of it. There's one away. Eight ground ball outs for Garcia.
You know, and then he had one ground ball that went through for a base hit, another ground ball that was booted. So he's got it working today. And when he does that, he usually goes deep into a game. And once again, he's 16-8 when he's pitching in day games here at Busch Stadium.
Cardinals a year ago, 55 wins here at home. Last year they started out by winning 20 of their first 29 here at Busch Stadium. Same cannot be said here in 2016. Start play today at 500 overall, and then pitch inside to Herrera. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
Herrera's been dealing with pitches inside all day.
Cardinals are 7-8 here at Busch Stadium.
And I think they'll use this environment to their advantage as the season goes along. But you know, other teams get jacked up too playing in front of this big crowd, 40,000 plus every night.
1 ball, 1 strike on Herrera.
You can see how effective those pitches inside, and then he struck out twice on off-speed pitches away. Just pitches inside, straighten him out, keep him from diving across the plate.
There's a broken bat, slowly hit towards second, and a little shovel pass there by Wong. That's a concentration play there for Colt Wong. You see the bat and the ball coming to you.
And that's not an easy play because you got to contend with the speed of Herrera coming down, but he got sawed off so bad he didn't get a quick start out of the bat. Let's go look at the last 2 pitches. Remember that first one was up and in, then he gets the pitch away. Look at that great movement away. So then he runs it right back in there and just saws him off. Saw how he had a delay even taking off because that ball was so far in his kitchen.
Showing bunt is Freddie Galvis, and he takes a ball. Reached on an air back in the first and lined out to left.
If you're trying to bunt for a base hit, I would think Jaime would be very difficult with his movement.
Popped up to the right side. Moss will give it a look, and it's out of play. I think he would also be difficult the fact that he fields his position very well. Gets off the mound as well as anybody. Cardinals staff last year, the ERA was 2.94, lowest in the major league since the 1988 Mets. That was a heck of a staff with David Cohn, Dwight Gooden, Ron Darling, Bob Ojeda. That slapped down the right field line foul.
But you know what also the Cardinal pitching staff did last year, and what they did so well was when they had runners in scoring position, they kept the opposition to about a 220 plus batting average. So if they did allow some hits and everything, they didn't come across the plate. Lilliquist done a great job. Blaze Ilsley down in the bullpen. Both of them don't get enough credit.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Galvis. There was a Dodgers team that eliminated the Mets in the playoffs of 1988 and then faced Tony La Russa's A's, and it was Kirk Gibson's dramatic home run. 3-2 with 2 outs and nobody on. Garcia has now walked a man today.
Yeah, one of many great Hall of Fame calls by Jack Buck.
The 3-2 pitch lined into right center. Grichuk on the move, had a position perfectly. Garcia's through 6. He's allowed just 2 base hits. Piscotty, Moss, and Grichuk coming up. Power Stats brought to you by Kubota. RBI leaders: Rizzo, Harper, Arenado, third baseman of the Rockies, and Yoenis Cespedes of the Mets. Rizzo already with 27, and when we saw him, he was hitting under 200 on the year. MVP candidate, first baseman for the Cubs. Here's Piscotty, who's 0 for 2 today. Then Brandon Moss. We'll see Randall Grichuk. Line to left for the out. All nurses report to Busch Stadium Stat. Thursday, May 19th, Nurses Night here at the ballpark. And with the purchase of this special themed ticket, fans receive a special edition Cardinals scrub top. Get your Nurses Night tickets now at cardinals.com/theme. Here's Moss, who homered for the lone run today. Cardinals have hit at least one home run in 11 of their 14 wins this season.
Hit a ton of it here at Busch Stadium too. His home run, I think, was the 22nd.
A 2-0 pitch to Brandon Moss. Started in the outfield. If you just joined us, knee contusion is what the Cardinals are calling it with Matt Adams. We'll find out after the game when that happened. It could have been in the first inning. And so Moss shifted to first base and Adams lifted in this game. The 2-1 pitch.
And that is one thing the Cardinals do have, a lot of versatility. Basically, Matt Adams is the only player that can only play one position. Everybody else can play multiple.
3-2.
Cardinals this offseason, John Zalak, the Cardinal general manager, did a great job of getting more bench strength. Having guys come off that bench that put a little fear in the opposition late in the ball game. They've come through with the 7 pinch hits. Scored a ton in the last 3 innings of the game.
Here's a 3-2. Off speed pitch, and it catches the outside corner. And that'll be the first strikeout for Eichhoff.
Moss didn't like that call at all. Mark Carlson, our crew chief, is the home plate umpire, and good job there trying to frame it as ball clearly was out of the strike zone.
First plate appearance for Grichuk. You'll see a steady diet of breaking balls, I'm sure, in this at bat. That was the first one taken for a ball. He's hitting 186. One ball, one strike.
Or you get ahead in the count, maybe bust a fastball in and then get him out with the breaking ball away, but they're pretty much staying away from it. There's a breaking ball, good curve ball. Don't like to leave it on the inner half of the plate, but had Grichuk backed up.
Borges gone, Hayward gone, John Jay, and so Randall Grichuk getting a chance, and right now off to a slow start as he strikes out. 2 in the inning, 2 in the game for Jared Eichhoff. Back on FS1 as the circuit heads to Kansas for Racing Under the Lights at the GoBowling.com 400, where Jimmy Johnson will look to defend his title from last year. All begins at 6, only on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. It's Blanco, Ruff, and then Rupp for the Phillies here in inning number 7. And Garcia is locked in here today. Only 2 hits allowed. When it comes to day baseball, this guy might be the best in the game. It's incredible during day games.
And put it here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals would love to win this one, win 3 out of 4, win the series.
Get this late in the game, you start thinking about what happens with your bullpen. So far, the Cardinals bullpen in this series, 8 innings, no runs. As a matter of fact, I was just looking at some of their numbers. They have not walked anybody in the month of May, and they're the only bullpen in baseball to have done that. That's incredible.
Well, it really is, and we saw last night what a walk can do. As might have been the reason why Pete McKenna didn't walk Holiday to bring up Grichuk, is that was the worst they had seen Genmar Gomez throw. You know, he had a little trouble. He had that walk that did him in, and I think they were afraid to load the bases.
Back to Garcia, spins, throws, 1 away. Blanco 0 for 3.
Remember, Gomez walked the leadoff hitter. That was Wong, and then later on he walked another one. So they were maybe a little tentative with walking the base loaded, bring up Grichuk, which I think both of us would have done.
Now Darren Ruff, 0 for 2 today. And it was Ruff that had that slow tapper out in front of the plate. Garcia got on it and threw a sinker to Adams. Kind of handcuffed him, made him back up just a little bit at first base in the direction of Darren Ruff going down the line. And I wonder if that's where Adams got the knee contusion. We'll find out on the postgame show.
Yeah, I would think that would be the only place, because they did have to get tangled up. Rupp lost his balance, but you know.
Here's the 0-2. David Lowe, Ryan Howard on the bench today. From the left side, Ruiz and Michael Franco from the right side, and Burris the switch hitter. A couple of big weapons there with Howard and Franco potentially late in this game. That's lifted out to center field. Grichuk going back with room. Sinking liner as he makes the catch. Here's the play with Matt Adams, and this was back in the first inning.
It's his left knee. See how it goes out there, and that has the contact there. It's exactly it.
Ouch.
Ruff's a pretty big kid himself, so.
Key play in this game was a soft liner hit off the bat of Peter Borges. Runners at first and third, only 1 out, turned into a double play. And since that time, Garcia is back and locked in. Rupp is 1 for 2. Got the first hit of the afternoon for the Phillies. They have only 2. And now time is called.
And that's something else about Jaime. When he is on, you know, it's going to be a low hit affair. They're struggling offensively anyway, the Phillies. But because of their pitching, they stay in these games. Even the blowout on Monday night was a close game until the end, you know, when the Cardinals got their 5 home runs.
Looking for strikeout number 5, and he gets it. A strikeout of Cameron Rupp. 5 today for Jaime Garcia. Time to stretch. Day baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So Eichhoff in his career, this being start number 14, has had 7 starts pitching into the 7th inning. Most recently, that was April 18th against the Mets. The most pitches for him, 110. And right now he has been efficient along with Garcia. This will be pitch number 80 upcoming to Yadier Molina.
And see, 81 pitch, or was that 80 now? 81? 80 pitches. Jaime is through 7 with 82.
Here's a 1-1.
Lefty thrown in the bullpen for Philadelphia.
Here's a 2-1 pitch to the Cardinals catcher. Molina serves it into right, tailing near the line and near the stands and out of play. Mentioned it earlier, the 10-year anniversary of Carlos Ruiz breaking into the big leagues. Molina came up in 2004. 2 mainstays for both these franchises over the last decade.
Ruiz took him a while to get here. He's 37. Been here just 10 years. Just 10 years.
Took him 8 years to get to the big leagues.
Been a good player too.
The story today, though, has been the pitching on both sides. By the way, Jaime Garcia in day games in his career at home, 9-4. That's pulled foul.
What is it overall? 16-8, something like that in day games.
So for whatever reason, here at home, he's comfortable. Day games, he thrives on it. Probably loves this crowd, which today is 41,818. 41818. The 2-2. Molina, a hanging breaking ball. And that's maybe why you're seeing some of that activity in the bullpen. Some of these pitches to start this inning have been up, not as sharp. Homestand will continue tomorrow. The Cardinals face the Pirates as Elvis Arroyo starts to throw. Good matchup for game 1. Carlos Martinez and Francisco Liriano tomorrow night. Will come your way at 6:30. Liriano was the opening day starter for the Pirates. Shut down the Cardinals.
Payback.
Taken high. Second walk issued by Eichhoff. Plaza Tire Service went with a breaking ball, and again, that is just not as sharp as we've seen from earlier in the game.
And saw that it was at top of the strike zone, but called the ball. And you know, when a pitcher gets tired, it's usually his legs the first to go, and when your legs get a little tired, you elevate the ball.
Well, he's got the lefty ready to face Hazel Baker. Wong on deck, hits him to the left side. Cardinals then could counter, certainly with a Holiday or a Jed Jerko. So pick your poison.
It's like he went to throw to first and his foot slipped. He didn't execute the throw. And watch. Now he had that half step lead. Now they're going, maybe the medical team's going to come out and see if he didn't hurt himself.
To me, Al, I don't think he's looked right from the start of this inning.
Kind of going down the leg, thinking it's a lower leg issue. Knee, something. Gonna try and throw a pitch or two, see if he's okay. Said he was okay, but the trainer wants to make sure.
After he threw that pitch, looked to be favoring his leg just a bit. Let's take a look at the back foot here. Yeah, he turned his ankle.
1-0 game at Bach there could be very important. Especially a leadoff walk. You know, Hazelbaker can get him over to third. They'd love it if he drove him in. And now the Cardinals, they'll get their bullpen active in case they need to pinch hit for Jaime.
Jonathan Broxton begins to throw in the Cardinals pen. Runner at second is Molina. Hazelbaker looks at a ball. He has walked today, grounded out sharply to second base. The third baseman Blanco is in, playing against the bunt. Not only could he sacrifice, but he might be able to bunt for a hit with his speed. Slaps it the other way and a base hit. Molina held up at third, and Hazelbaker makes it first and third. Nobody out, and the batter is Colton Wong. We'll see if that'll be it for Eichhoff.
Good piece of hitting by Hazelbaker. The ball is out away from him, doesn't try to pull it, just shoots it to the left, and it goes through. Solid contact, and this will be the knockout blow for Eichhoff. I think more, just as much precautionary.
Chevy called to the pen. Eichhoff, good outing. Wong coming up. First and third, nobody out. Trying to add on here with runners at first and third, nobody out. Next time you want to grab Cardinal seats, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you'll love whenever you want, you can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by the best value. So get the StubHub app today. Elvis Araujo, fastball and slider. He made his major league debut a year ago yesterday. He's pitched in this series. Big guy, 6'7". The Cardinals will pinch hit for Wong with Jed Jerko. It was Jerko who sent a fly ball down the left field line late last night, caught up against the wall. Hazelbaker certainly a threat to run. Very good speed. 2 stolen bases this year.
Araujo is stranded all 7 inherited runners. Best stranding percentage rate in National League, but he's going to have to really pitch to get out of this jam.
All kinds of room to the right side. A little bit of a shift here for Jerko. Middle infield is in a few steps. They hold at first. Third baseman Blanco is near the line. 6 for 22. His career numbers as a pinch hitter. Outfield is deep and straight away. The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes.
Araujo has held opponents to a 118 average in the last 23 major league appearances. Only 2 home runs have been hit off him.
The 2-0. 3-0. Cardinals could elect to turn Jerko loose, and he could make this a 4-run lead.
I'm sure he has the green light. Just asked him to be selective.
The 3-0 pitch. 3-1. Pinch hitters for the Cardinals, the best right now statistically in baseball. 21 pinch hits. 7 of the 21 have been home runs. A .389 average.
Yeah, .389.
Here's a 3-1. He walked him. Bases loaded. Now you think about pulling back Ruben Tejada. You could go with Diaz. You could go with Holiday. Two walks in the inning. A single. It was a walk by Molina. Hazelbaker slapped a base hit to left. And a walk to Jed Jerko.
You could do all those things, Dan, but I think the one thing, you got nobody out, bases loaded, you're going to pinch hit for Garcia, who's on deck, or would be on deck. There you see Holiday, last night's hero. Got the infield in.
Araujo cannot find the strike zone. Ball 1 to Ruben Tejada. Line back to the pitcher and also grounded out to third.
And Bob McClure will come out and join Freddie Galvis with his pitcher and dial him in. Get him in the strike zone so Tejada be ready for a strike.
You also, depending on what happens here with Ruben Tejada, let's just say for argument's sake, base hit, 2-run score, or he clears the bases, pull back Holiday and let Garcia hit for himself.
You could, but I think that, you know, he's already given you 7 great innings. You know, we saw when he did complete his April 14th shutout, and it took him a while to recover from that. So the way the bullpen is going, couldn't go wrong with either choice, but I would understand if they went ahead and pinch hit for him.
Here's a 1-0 to Tejada. Fly ball into right. That's Borges near the line. Your runner is Molina. Catch is made. Throw to the plate is cut off, and a run scores to make it 2-0 St. Louis. All the runners tag up.
Got to do is hit a 300-foot fly ball, and you get that run in. Big insurance run for the Cardinals. Holiday will hit for Garcia. Did a great job. Borges, you see him check himself. He knows where he's at, but he just doesn't have a typical right field arm. And Cardinals know it, so all runners advanced.
As a pinch hitter this year, Holiday 2 for 3. In his career, only 30 pinch hit appearances as he came up in 2004. And they're going to intentionally walk him. He's only had 6 pinch hits in his career, and 2 of those coming this year. So the intentional pass here to Holiday. Interesting move that they want the lefty-lefty matchup here with Matt Carpenter, who's starting to really swing the bat well with 2 more hits today.
They brought in Araujo the other day to face Bryce Harper, and he threw him 3 sliders. See you later, good night. And I think that's what they're hoping for here is the big strikeout. Araujo does strike out a bunch of people. You know, averaging 9.98 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's got 17 strikeouts.
He faced Carpenter the other night, got him to fly out. He saw a bunch of sliders there. Hazelbaker had the base hit. Jerko the pinch hitter for Wong. He walked. And now the intentional walk to Holiday. Left on the Cardinals bench, Diaz and Fryer. Bases loaded for Matt Carpenter. Doubled inside the first base line. His first plate appearance. Single to right in the third. Flied out to the wall in the fifth.
You know, Carpenter's an ideal guy to have up here because he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He's got the good batting eye. He'll accept the walk, and we're thinking we're going to get a lot of sliders. Well, a lot of sliders can be a lot of balls.
You think about it, Arahu came in, walked Jed Jerko, wasn't close to the plate. Puts a lot of pressure on him. Here's a 1-0 pitch with the bases loaded. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chance to bust this game open for St. Louis with a 2-run lead. "13 pitches, 4 of those the intentional walk, but outside of that only 3 strikes. So again, a lot of pressure on this tall lefty.
And you got a batter at the plate that knows the strike zone very, very well.
The 1-1 pitch to Carpenter. Inside.
Trying to throw that slider, but you know, he's trying to aim it too.
Think about money players, guys that hit with runners in scoring position or late in games. Carpenter well above 300, 7th inning or later this year.
And Piscotty is very good in that department also.
The 2-1. Two of his 3 home runs have come in the 7th inning or later. Bases loaded, the 2-2. Carpenter, jam, popped up, infield fly. Advance at your own risk, and that's a big, big out. Plaza Tires, Fox tracks in. The lefty got inside on Carpenter.
He's a big guy, and he gets in there. See the glove, the catcher reaching inside, and end up being a very good pitch. And they'll go to the bullpen. Murray.
It's our Chevy called to the pen. from the University of Kansas. Pitched an inning and 2/3, did not give up a run. He was called up from Lehigh Valley, their AAA affiliate, back on April 30th. And he gets Stephen Piscotty. Piscotty 3 hits last night. And he was able to come up with a big hit in that 9th inning. Cardinals are looking for a big 2-out hit here. Bases are loaded as we play in the bottom of the 7th.
Piscotty leads Major League Baseball in hits with runners in scoring position. He has 14th, and he's 5th in the National League with a batting average with runners in scoring position at .467. Bases loaded, 4 for 7, 6 RBIs. He could break this game wide open.
Hit into a double play. He's lined out, also grounded into a fielder's choice. Two outs, bases loaded. First pitch to Piscotty. Taken low and outside. You saw last night this right-hander gets it up to 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, he came in last night with nobody out and runners at first and second. Got a double play ball and a ground out to not let any runners score. He saved that game early.
The 1-0 pitch. It's an interesting move when you think what Mike Matheny did. He doesn't go with Jaime Garcia to hit for himself. And he was only at 82 pitches. And remember, first base was open, so made the decision fairly easy for Pete Mackanin to walk him. We'll see if the move pays off. The 1-1 with 2 outs, bases loaded. Ooh, he hung a breaking ball and got away with it.
Part of it, Dan. You know, you can make a bad pitch and hitter can't do anything with it. You know, you're all right, but now he's in the driver's seat.
One ball, 2 strikes. The next to Piscotty. Doesn't chase. Nice job to hold up. Hazelbaker, Jerko, Holiday, all on base. You see Rupp going out to visit. They may just even not put signs down and go through the rotation of their pitches right there.
Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes you can kind of reinforce something. That was a great pitch. Make that same pitch again. You're going to get him. Not so worried anymore of guys stealing signs.
Big pitch in this game right here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The next to Piscotty. On the inside corner. Did not go. Bases loaded. They're off with this pitch. 3-2.
Merry-go-round. One of the most exciting plays in all of baseball. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 5 for 8 with a full count.
Now time call. This big crowd here in St. Louis ready to explode. Over 41,000 here today. (3-2) to Piscotty. Rips it fair. 2 runs at least will score. Touched by a fan. Holiday has to stop at third, but 2-run score. And Piscotty delivers on the 3-2 pitch to make it 4-0 Cardinals.
Ball just hopped into the stands for a ground rule double. And Piscotty comes through. Full count. Ball's on the inside. He just turns on it, and somehow he keeps it fair. It's right over the bag, then it hops into the stands. This big crowd loves it.
And now Moss, who homered earlier, got the Cardinals on the board with a long home run. A solo shot back in the first. Second and third. The shift here for Moss. Closes the book on Eichhoff. 6+ innings. 4 runs here today. Gave up 6 hits, struck out 2, walked 2, and gave up the home run to Moss. The 0-1 to the Cardinals first baseman. Now 0-2.
Eichhoff pitched better than what his line looks like now.
Oh-2 pitch to Brandon Moss. In the dirt, kept in front by Cameron Rupp. 3 walks in the inning, and 2 of the walks have come around to score.
One of those runs was charged to Araujo.
Inning 429 with runners in scoring position is Moss. He's driven in 17 this year. The 1-2 pitch.
All breaking balls to Moss. That one just didn't pull it down.
On 2-2. Moss looks at ball 3. Man on deck is Randal Grichuk. Jonathan Broxton is ready to come in and pitch the top of the 8th. The 3-2 pitch. Pulled foul. Look at Moss and Grichuk. These are 2 players that will not see, probably 80% of the time, maybe even more, a fastball. It is breaking ball after breaking ball.
Well, that's why it's important for a pitcher to stay ahead in the count. Remember, Moss was 0-2, and then he couldn't get the 3rd one by him, so now it's a full count.
A 3-2 pitch, and Moss strikes out on the breaking ball. The Cardinals, though, pick up 2 thanks to Stephen Piscotty. His double plates 2. It's 4-0. double down the third base line. And that makes it a 4-0 Cardinals lead. Jaime Garcia gives way to Jonathan Broxton. It's our Chevy Cole to the pen. Garcia, 7 innings, no runs, only 82 pitches today. Couple of hits, struck out 5, no walks. And Broxton, who signed a 2-year deal in the offseason, has been very good at the beginning here of 2016. ERA well below 2.
Really has been. And
there's Cesar Hernandez trying to butt his way on and pushes it foul. Hernandez 0 for 2. The only hits today came in the 5th off of Garcia by Cameron Rupp and Tyler Goodell.
We've seen in this series that Hernandez really can run. He's a switch hitter. 0 for 2 off of Jaime. He was batting well under 200 off of lefties.
Well, again, we'll see if the move pays off to take Garcia out of this game. Basically, you used Holiday in that spot. For the most part, you would think he would be walked, and he was, with first base open. Fly ball, left center. Grichuk makes the catch. Now, if you're Pete Mackanin, you're thinking, I've got to get Ryan Howard in this game, don't I? If a right-hander's up at some point.
You would think so, but right now he's going to have some guys on the base for, one run isn't going to make any difference. And you're running out of time. 5 outs to go.
Here's Goodell with 1 out and nobody on. Fastball and a strike. So Rule 5 pickup. Team pays $50,000 to the team from which he was selected. That's what the Phillies did with Tampa Bay. The 0-1 pitch by Broxton.
They had 2 Rule 5s. They had one that got banged for PEDs. A pitcher's stump, which it's very difficult for a championship caliber club to carry 1. But the Cardinals are carrying Bowman, and he's been holding his own. Matter of fact, doing very, very well. The right-handed relief pitcher.
2 scoreless innings in this series. Mention it, the bullpen as a whole for the Cardinals coming into game 4 of this series with 8 scoreless innings and 8 strikeouts, and a real key there is no walks. Seung-Hwan Oh had a scoreless inning last night. Cardinals put together 4 last night from their bullpen.
You had Bowman, you had O, and Segras all pitched last night, so you got Broxton here. It's not a save situation. You got the Pirates coming in town over the weekend. May want to just save Rosenthal, especially if it's not a save situation, saving for the weekend. He could possibly be in all 3 of those games.
The 2-2 pitch. Big gap in left center. On its way. Check swing. Did not go. Bullpen last year was number 3 in the majors in ERA, 2.82, highlighted by all the saves from Trevor Rosenthal. Last year he was at 48, one better than Lee Smith's 47, club record in 1991. 3-2 pitch. Hit to third. Carpenter charges, gets it on the short hop for out number 2. Blues are in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Fox Sports Midwest has post-game shows after every game. Player interviews. Hear from the guys who know the Blues the best. Missouri Lottery, Blues Live, our post-game show. Fox Sports Midwest coverage continues tonight after game number 4. Downtown will be rocking.
David Lowe is going to pinch hit here for Peter Borges. Rosenthal hadn't thrown since April 30th, so it may want a tune-up inning.
And Lowe sends a fly ball out to deep right field, and this ball is off the top of the wall. On his way to second, now on his way to third, off the bench with a 2-out stand-up triple. Well, here he is. This is the time to use him, and that is Ryan Howard. Howard, 37 games at Busch Stadium for the St. Louis native, 13 home runs, 43 RBIs in the 37 games, and a .331 average. 7 home runs this year, and a total of 17 hits.
Ryan is 1 for 11 off of Broxton with 7 strikeouts.
You may be seeing his final plate appearance here in town. What has been a fabulous career with 364 career home runs.
And so much damage against his home team. There you see the numbers against Broxton. But in this ballpark, you never know.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. He loves this ballpark and he loves Dodger Stadium. 37 games between well, at each Busch and Dodger Stadium, and 13 home runs in each of those parks. The shift is on, and here's a 2-0 pitch. 3-0.
That might be even more impressive than what he's done here, because of the majority of those games at night where it's tough to hit the ball out of California parks.
.30 pitch to Howard. 3-1. Lafayette High School, then it was on to Missouri State. And remember, at the time when he arrived on the scene with the Phillies, they had Jim Thome at first base, and he was putting up big numbers.
I remember, you know, it took Ryan a little time to get here too. He started in his early 20s.
3-1 pitch. Hit up the middle. The shift was on. Backhanded. That's Carpenter. The third baseman and former second baseman puts it away. A scoreless top of the 8th for Jonathan Broxton. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by your local Volkswagen dealer. Gorgeous day. Temperatures in the low 60s here in the Gateway City. As David Hernandez takes over, the right-hander out of the pen for the Philadelphia Phillies. He has struck out 22 of the 53 batters he's faced since back in early April. Last year he was very good. He struck out better than it was 8 batters per 9, so this is a strikeout pitcher, no doubt. He'll get Randall Grichuk, Yadier Molina, and Jeremy Hazelbaker. 4-0 Cardinals. Cardinals picked up a run in the first inning on a Brandon Moss long home run. Longest ever hit by a left-handed batter at this ballpark, as Hernandez is part of our Chevy call to the pen. And here comes a 1-1.
Hernandez had Tommy John surgery March 2014, so he rehabbed last year, beginning of the year, and then got called up for Arizona and signed with Phillies as a free agent.
Fastball and a strikeout of Grichuk.
Tommy Pham has started his rehab assignment. He was at Memphis last night. Leadoff was 1 for 2. I think he had an RBI. They say he could be ready as early as the upcoming road trip. It starts on Tuesday.
Cardinals will be in Los Angeles, take on the Angels and the Dodgers, as Molina hits a fly ball into shallow right. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. They're getting ready over at Ballpark Village. Scott Warman will be alongside of Rick Horton, the post-game show.
He's making his entrance.
There's
waving.
Ricky, making sure he gets plenty of camera
Yeah,
time.
that's what I was thinking.
As usual.
Timed that perfectly, didn't he?
Yep. He was in the green room until he knew that that camera was popping up. And hold on, everybody. Clear out.
I'm here.
Everybody just clears out of the way when Ricky gets there. 0-2 on Jeremy Hazelbaker.
And Rosenthal will get a tune-up for the upcoming series against the Pirates.
Well, Trevor Rosenthal has 2 appearances in his last 11 games. We saw him against San Diego and over the weekend against Washington.
Yeah, his last appearance was April 30th.
Hazelbaker breaks his bat. A race to the bag. He may beat it out. And he's lucky the first base umpire, Mike DeMuro, didn't punch him out, because he may have
hurt himself
David
too.
Hernandez.
David Hernandez all bent over and almost collided with our first base umpire, but it looks like a leg issue or something. Race for the bag. Look at his ankle. His left ankle turned over right after he goes there, and watch the left ankle come down and twist.
Had a collision earlier in this game, and that was a bruise to the knee of Matt Adams. Had to be taken out, and now Hernandez walks slowly to the dugout. We head to the 9th. 4-0 St. Louis. Trevor Rosenthal in for St. Louis, their closer. It is a 4-run lead. We've not seen Trevor pitch since April 30th, the start of the homestand against Washington. Prior to that, it had been 6 days, and he had that long save, 30+ pitches against San Diego. So 2 appearances in his last 11 games.
Not ideal for your closer or really anybody, but it's what you have to deal with.
And the first pitch slapped the other way by Herrera. Leadoff base hit here to start the ninth.
And that's what you get. You fear is they might have one of these innings where the pitch count gets up high, where you're trying to just tune him up for the weekend series against the Pirates. But you know he has got a chance to pitch every day in that one.
It was so good a year ago, 48 saves. It wasn't until the 67th and 68th games last summer that Rosenthal blew his 3rd save, and first against a team other than Pittsburgh. We had the 2 rough days right before the All-Star break.
Yeah, and you know, if he had one game this year where 2/3 of an inning and allowed 2 earned runs, if you took that away, his ERA would be 0 for the season.
2 balls and no strikes. Freddie Galvis reached on an air back in the first, lined out to left, and also lined out to center. This has been, if the Cardinals win 3 of 4, not easy to get those 3 wins. This has been a hard-fought series.
I'll tell you, Philadelphia and their fans, they can be very proud of the way their young team is playing, the way they're pitching. Their offense has really struggled, but they've played 4 good ball games here. Tough ones if the Cardinals win 3 out of 4.
Pitching would make me excited.
Absolutely.
The 3-0 pitch. This is some of the best pitching the Cardinals have seen all year.
Yep.
Albeit early, but very good.
And you can see why the good Phillies pitching has kept the Cardinals offense down.
Foul back for strike 2, full count, runner at first. Cardinals a 4-0 lead here in the top of the 9th.
And we have not seen Philadelphia's best pitcher this far in the early going, Velasquez.
Fly ball into right, near the corner, and foul.
You always want to show confidence for your closer, but you also understand too that you don't want him to go out and throw 30+ pitches like he did in that one Sunday afternoon in San Diego. So Mike Matheny's just sitting there going, come on, Trevor, get a double play here. End up only throwing about 10-12 pitches.
3-2 pitch lined into right field for a base hit. Things get a little interesting now.
And at what point do you say, okay, switch hitter, they low ball hitters from the left side, high ball hitters from the right side, and it's a good pitch, but better piece of hit.
Cardinals with this 4-run lead. It was Brandon Moss's 462-foot home run that got things started. 4th longest ever in this stadium, longest ever by a left-handed batter. Then they picked up 3 runs in the 7th. And here is Andres Blanco, who was struck out and grounded out twice, 0 for 3. Cardinals trying to pick up a win for Jaime Garcia, even his record at 2-2. And if the Cardinals win this game, they'd be 1 game above the 500 mark. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. Martinez and Liriano tomorrow. Wainwright, Jeff Locke in game 2. Michael Wacha, Garrett Cole Sunday afternoon. So some good pitching is lined up for this weekend.
A wonderful weekend. Great opponent. An opponent that the Cardinal players all respect that team.
0-2 pitch. Hit on the hands and fouled back. Carlos Martinez off to a very good start. He's 4-1. Started out 4-0, but he does struggle against the Pirates. Career ERA is over 5. Liriano is 3-0, ERA under 2 at this ballpark. Remember all the strikeouts in that opening series against the Pirates when they were swept.
37 in that 3-game series. The Cardinals struck out 37 times. What a difference when they strike out less than 10. Cardinal record is one of the tops in the sport.
Here's the 0-2. So the 48 saves a year ago for Rosenthal, best in club history, but not close to K-Rod, who had 62 back in 2008 with the Angels. Bobby Thigpen back in 1990 at 57. The 0-2. The last 2 years in non-save situations, Rosenthal's ERA is about 2.5. Save opportunities, it's well below 2.
And they're concerned as the pitch counts at 14.
And a fly ball. Shallow right near the line, hustling over Piscotty. Oh, what a catch! An amazing play from the Cardinals right fielder. Diving near the line, and an incredible play by Stephen Piscotty.
What a long, long run. He crosses over the foul territory line, running full speed, looking up at a fly ball. Look at how far he had to go, and then dives full out to make that play and scrambles up to keep the runner from advancing more than just one base. Herrera, the lead runner, goes to third. But a tremendous play. That's one of the best plays you'll ever see right there.
Runner from first did not tag up, so they're at the corners. Double play still in order. And that's the thing that really stands out, the fact that you did have the man from second, as you mentioned, tag up, but the man from first stays there, and now a double play ends this game.
I mean, you sit there and you say, you see him run there, even if, you know, it's a foul ball, to go back and tag up the whole time. And then you see him laying flat on the ground.
Good fastball, 0-2 on Darren Ruff.
Kind of get the feeling that kind of got the motors running for Rosenthal. You know, a tremendous defensive play like that. Now you have that, you want to preserve that shutout. So many little mental things you can play with yourself to make sure that you don't let them score.
Another aspect of the game tomorrow I can't wait to see and watch and listen to will be the ovation for David Freese back in St. Louis.
Absolutely.
Here's a 1-2 pitch.
David's come up with some big hits and good plays in the field. He's made his presence known already in Pittsburgh.
He's hitting .291 right now with the Pirates. Runners at first and third. Ruff is 0 for 3. A double play could end it. The 2-2 pitch. Struck him out with a changeup. Let's turn to today's Budweiser player of the game, Jaime Garcia. And no-hit baseball going into the 5th. Only 2 hits allowed overall in 7 innings. No runs, no walks. He struck out 5. The first hit in this game was Cameron Rupp, and he digs in, trying to extend the ball game. 1 for 3 today. Runner will take second base. This will be pitch number 23 upcoming. The 0-1. Now 0-2. And 41,000 plus on their feet with 2 strikes. And a chance for the Cardinals to take care of business before maybe the Blues do here tonight.
So for that doubleheader win in St. Louis today.
The 0-2.
Another byproduct of only pitching 2 times in 11 days is it's tougher to come back. You're throwing multiple days or throwing every other day, it's easy, but when you have those long layoffs, it takes recovery.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Back to Rosenthal. The Cardinals take 3 of 4. They shut out the Phillies in game 4 by the final of 4-0.
Good ball game for the Cardinals. Hard fought series. Cardinals win 3 out of 4. Build a little momentum. You're over 500 at home and for the season, and you got one of your favorite opponents coming in tomorrow night.